Next door, my click, my ears, engine of the atmosphere, the stratosphere, Joe, sitting on the ground in a rainbow, they get it, they push, it could be an instruction of the sideshow, then you that. Daddy, no, you ain't showing that I ain't. Oh, girl, you ain't that I ain't. Oh, girl, you don't. That I ain't. Oh, daddy, no. Listen like a mango. Taking this shit over like a Django. I'ma do me, no tango. Rolling with me, those angels. Spending them as long while I play high. You can get a song when it's like bye. Struggles all alone like a take that. And I can see your soul through my eye. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to live my life. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to handle my strike. If you can't walk a mile in my shoes, don't know what it's like. But you can't make a move like I move. I'm moving the line. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to live my life. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to handle my strike. If you ain't walk a mile in my shoes, don't know what it's like. But you ain't making moves like I move. I'm moving the light. Looking through the people, but I only see me and other people. That's the way you sleep without the ego. Like you being on your options with. Turn it up your brother, but won't hurt yourself. Instead of looking at yourself, you look at someone else. Nah, you are not my judge. I told them put up a stone, but they won't budge. So I stand tall like a Titan. Keys to my left and my right hand. We gon' make a move on never left. Coming like a thief for the night hand. Acting like a right here. Have to put my foot in the sheet right here. Follow from my legs to the northern beat. Walking on the water like Jesus. You ain't saying it. Daddy, no, you ain't showing God. Oh, yeah, you show, you ain't showing. Oh, daddy, go, God, that I ain't. Oh, daddy, no, keep it running like a Honda. Speaking in code, that's a Honda. If you wanna look, you look up to but it's good that you don't get it, I'm sums I'm only speaking and I'm on a mission. If you ain't a fishing, when you're fishing, get up out the water when you want to drown. If you never learn to rise, then you stay down. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to live my life. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to handle my stress. If you ain't walked a mile in my shoes, don't know what it's like. But you ain't making moves like I move. I'm moving the lights. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to live my life. Who do you think you are? Trying to tell me how to handle my stress. Ain't making me.
Peace, my brothers. Welcome to the live stream this evening. I know it's probably bright and early where you are, Brother Cut. Sun probably ain't even up yet. Just going down here. So we're going to get into this message, little flock. And it's going to be different than what we normally do here. This is going to be a more intimate message, I would say, amongst the brotherhood specifically. You know, most messages, when you're preaching the gospel, you're just preaching it to anybody who will hear, anyone who can see, because you don't personally know who can see and who can hear when you're speaking the words. But lo and behold, there are some who do, but you don't know who they are. So you just speak the word. And then there are some times when you're speaking specifically to your flock, specifically to your brothers and your family. And that's what kind of message this is going to be today, little flock. Go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. Now, when I'm about to read to you, little flock, is something that's not unfamiliar to us. It's something that we've heard several times, many times, hundreds of times, maybe even thousands of times in our life. It's something that we've heard often. But as it is with the word of the Most High, you have to read it and then know it, and then you have to live it. And when it comes to that part where you have to live it, sometimes we forget that we know it and that we've heard it and read it. You see what I mean? But that's the time when we must remember. And when you look at Abba's word, he's always telling us to recall, to remember, to put it in our minds, to meditate on it day and night so that we don't forget it. And once you realize what it is, once you are restored back to it, then you realize, man, I'm never going astray from that again. And you realize why the Father was telling you, don't forget about it. Don't let it go. Hold on tight to it. You understand once you know what it is and you've been reacquainted with it. You see, it's your power in anyone who's living. Once they were reacquainted with their power, then they would see the value of it. Until they're reacquainted, they won't see the value in it. You see what I mean, little flock? All right. Brother Chris, peace to you. Brother Cut, peace to you, my brother. Chuck in the building, peace to you. Who else we got up in here? Brother Carlton in the building. Did I mention you, brother? Peace to you as well. All right. Ephesians chapter 6. Okay. Let's start at the beginning, just to get some context. Children, obey your parents in I am, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest live long on the earth. And you fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of I am. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, and singleness of your heart, as unto Christ. Stop. So, as we can see right now, little flock, these things are hard for men to hear. These scriptures in particular are hard for men to hear. Men often wrestle with them, as the Bible says men do with Paul's writings. They wrestle with it because they haven't been humbled. That's why you're still wrestling. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a thing in UFC. You guys are familiar with UFC before I continue so that nobody's left out? Are you guys familiar with the UFC? Okay. 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 So there's more than one way to win in the UFC, correct? Since you're all familiar with it, there's more than one way to win. You can win by knockout. You guys know that. But you can also win by what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right, Brother Cut. By submission. You hear that word? Submission. So submission means that you caused your opponent to what they call tap out, right? You caused him to give out. You put him in such a position that he had no other choice but to submit himself, right? Little flock, y'all following me? Well, do you want to be the man who's being submitted or the one who's administering the submission? which which fighter would you rather be? That's right, brother Cut. Some people's pride is so strong that you just got to put him to sleep. And he wakes up and realizes that he lost. The other guy tapped out. This guy, I'm never going to tap. Nigga, wake up. Where is he? Where is he? Where did he go? Where did he go? He's at home asleep, probably getting some from his old lady. What are you doing? Where am I? Yeah, that's the main question you need to figure out first, brother. Where are you? So which fighter would you rather be? The one who's going to sleep because he's being choked out, or the one who's doing the choking? Which fighter would you rather be? That's right, brother Christopher. The one administering, preferably. You're right about that. Like Khabib says, go sleep. That's right. That's right. You want to be the one putting that nigga in a chokehold. See, no one wants to be told that they're going to be the one being put into the chokehold. Do you understand the concept of what I'm saying here? No one wants to be the one submitting. No one wants to be the one humbled. Do you follow it? So if no one wants to be humbled, this is why they wrestle with these words here. Because children obey your parents. Look at children today. You can tell them to obey, but that doesn't mean that they're going to. And the reason they will not go, they are not going to, is because of pride, arrogance, and rebellion. They must be humbled in order to receive this. Honor thy father, thy mother. Fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. He must be humbled in order to not provoke his children to wrath, but to be submitted to the truth of how to be a true father, because his pride will cause him to do things that will provoke his children to wrath. He may steer them in a direction that they don't want to go, which will provoke them to wrath. He may be too disciplinarian and too hard on them and not enough tenderness, and then that will be what? Not a good thing, right? So then he might provoke his child to wrath because he didn't give him enough hugs, or he didn't give him enough affirmations, and he wasn't enough tenderness. You guys understand what I'm saying here? You see? So all of this is about being humbled. All of it is. He says, you servants, be obedient to your masters. There it is again. So the servant is the one in the headlock, using the analogy we used earlier. See, he's the one in the submission hold to the master that's got him in the submission hold. You see what I mean? So no one wants to hear that, but that's our lot, brothers. I want y'all to hear that nice and good. I want y'all to hear that nice and good. Can y'all hear that nice and good? Can you hear that nice and good? Can you hear that nice and good? Can you hear that nice, I say, nice and good? The loud one, and then there's a quiet one. You're going to be the quiet one. There's a big ass dominant looking one, and then there's a humble unassuming looking one. You're the humble unassuming looking one. Do you guys understand what side of the bill you guys fall on, or what side of the fence you're falling on here? There's wolves, and then there's sheep. You guys are the sheep in the midst of wolves. And see, wolves consider sheep to be stupid and dumb. And we like it that way. Y'all just ain't understood the power of it yet. If you were actually wiser than your opponent, wouldn't you want your opponent to think you're dumb? I would. I like that. I like when men misjudge me, because that makes my submission move that I put them in a whole lot easier. If you ask me, they put themselves in the shit. Y'all understand what I'm saying here? Okay. Brother Chris said, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. You hear that? Because his people are not humble, are they? Nope. They're prideful, they're arrogant, they're puffed up. And when you're like that, then you cannot humble yourself. You can't submit. So then when he says, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands, she can't. You're in there in the UFC ring with her. She's Khabib. Brother Cut says Khabib means lovable. So she's your lovable one. She's your Khabib. Khabibing the shit out of your ass, by the way. She kicking your ass. Why? Now, brothers, I'm going to share something with y'all specifically because, like I said, this is a brotherly message today, just between us, okay? It's an intimate message. Your woman has an advantage over you if you step into her domain, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you what her domain is so then you can understand it so that you don't step in it. Because if you do, she's going to Khabib you. She going to Israel Adesanya your ass right on up out of there, okay? So what you need to do is recognize that domain and don't step in. That domain is called chaos. Now, men in their pride think that they will thrive in chaos. So they go stepping in there. I told you that ain't your lane. You're going to crash your shit trying to do that. Stay in your lane where you're powerful. So then if I told you that if you step into chaos, you're no longer powerful, then where should you keep your feet at? You should probably stay in the house, shouldn't you? Where you're strong. And so do you see how men, through the test of time, and us included, have tried to strong arm our women at times? We've tried to use intellect and reasoning against this woman. We've tried to hold her physically and restrain her and show her how strong we are and why she should be afraid of us. We've yelled, we've exalted our voice, we've punched holes in walls, we've knocked down the door and shit fell all through every damn thing. We done threw clothes all out in the street. We did all kind of shit. Went to jail. Why? That's all chaos, isn't it? So then you see the grandson ain't playing around, is he? Yeah. He ain't playing around. He ain't playing around. I'm just telling y'all the truth. You stepped into chaos. You stepped into her world. Now, while you're all doing all of that, girl, don't you understand? I've done everything for you. Boom, 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 punching a wall and shit. Don't you understand? I've given my last. I've sacrificed this and that. You're in chaos. She's calm as hell. She's recording your dumb ass. She's got your ass on a three-way with somebody listening to your crazy ass. Listen to this shit. She got you set up like a motherfucker because chaos is her domain. I told you that. That's why you shouldn't step in it. Y'all didn't read about the spirit was hovering over the face of the deep. It was void. It was void. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You hear that there, little flock of ladies? All right. So this is about being humble because there's no other way you can enter into this house. I told you that. A man has to be bent in order to enter into the doorway. Do you understand what I'm explaining to you? Or the parables that I'm using? A man must be bent in order to enter into the house. That's the only way he can enter in. In other words, he must be humble to enter in. So humble people can receive these things. Prideful people cannot. You see what I'm saying? So servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling in singleness of your heart as unto Christ. Now, this is not an easy thing to do, is it? No. So then what does he mean when he says in singleness of your heart? What does he mean when he says that, little flock? In singleness of your heart. What does that mean? While y'all are percolating over singleness of heart, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you our domain. I told you the woman's domain and not to step there. So then I would be remiss if I didn't tell you yours. If her domain is chaos, then what do you think yours is? it's calm, and it's peace. Now, there's a husband of this house. So then we need to see if he matches that frequency. Does he? The husband would be Yahusha. Is he calm and peaceful? Is that his state of being that he's always in and that he tells us to be in as well? Is that the city? Is that his city? Is it called the city of peace? So that is man's domain. That is your true home. Do you understand what I'm revealing to you? That is your Eden. That's your end, because he claimed the end from the beginning. Where was man in the beginning? So then where will man be at the end? He will be in the garden. Now, do you think you're not peaceful when you're in the garden? Come on now. I'm cooking on y'all. Do you think that he's not calm when he's in the garden? Can you say that he's not? So then me telling you this is telling you the state you must be in if you want to go back home again. Am I right or am I wrong? I need you guys to admit that. Am I right or am I wrong about this? In order for you to go back into that state that all men want to be in, which is home, you want to go home. Well, if you want to go home, you must be in the state that you would be if you were home. That's what God has always tried to say, to seek it by faith. Now, how would you seek it by faith other than to assume that you are there by his name, which is I am home. Well, I am home is not a fearful place to be. It is not a place that makes me angry to be. It is not a place that causes me stress. It is not a place where I am unaccepted. It is not a place where I am unloved. It is not a place where I am not respected. Matter of fact, it's the contrary. So then what must I feel in order for me to enter into that state? Come on, guys. It's not hard to understand what I'm saying to you. And no one can deny that this is the true gospel that makes a man free. Because if he chooses life, which is those things that I'm saying to you, I am respected. I am loved. Look how I'm just flipping it from a hell house to a heaven house. I am loved there. So then I am loved. I am accepted at home. So I am accepted. I am respected at home. I am happily married at home in the garden. I have perfect harmony with my spouse in the garden, my beloved, my undefiled in the garden. See what I'm trying to say to you? How many men exist in that state of being? Now, I asked you guys a question in the Discord, which was, are you being tempted? And you guys were telling me about your circumstances before I came live. Well, you guys were admitting that you're being tempted out of that state of peace, out of that state of I am respected. You can't deny it, can you? You're being tempted out of that state of I am peaceful, I am calm. Isn't that what you're being tempted out of on a daily basis? Like today? To get you out of Eden, to convince you ain't home, brother. To convince you of a lie. If you were home and I didn't want you to know you were, if I knocked you out, peep what I'm saying to y'all. If I came in your own house and knocked you unconscious and then painted your house, redecorated it while you were unconscious, shifted shit around, knocked walls down, put other walls up into place and all kind of shit, but it's still your house. But I just rearranged this shit so differently that when you woke up, you didn't even realize you were in your house. Then I would tell you you weren't, nigga. I would tell you you're here now. I would tell you you aren't even the same guy you thought you were. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to y'all? And if you would feel anxiety because of that, you look around and go, I knew I was at home. Where the hell am I at now? I don't know where I'm at. This man here is telling me where I'm at. This man here is telling me who I am. And y'all act like this didn't actually happen to God's people. It did happen to them. That's why only God's grace can save them. That's why only God's grace is what revealed the name to them. Brother Cut, do you mind sharing with the little flock about what the greatest curse that was ever put was? You mind sharing that as we were talking about it the other day? Share that with the little flock real quick. They need a quick shot to wash down some of that dinner real quick. We were talking about that curse, about the name and hiding the name, that the name wouldn't be known. Explain that, what that word is, that name, and that phrase or whatever it was you were telling me about, that hides the name and so that the people won't know it. May your name never be remembered. We were discussing that the other day. And then watch how what Brother Cut's going to reveal. Watch how it coincides with what I'm telling you about coming in somebody's house, knocking them out, redecorating their house, and when they wake up, they don't even know they're in their own house anymore. And you've convinced them of that lie as well. You've convinced them that they're somewhere else and that there's somebody else. You convinced them of it. Okay, do you guys see that in the chat? That Hebrew that Brother Cut is placed there? Explain to the little flock what that means, Brother Cut. And why that exists. What does it mean? Forgotten be his name. That's what those words mean. Forgotten be his name. Y'all see that, little flock? Now this is a curse. You see? Forgotten be his name. When you read Psalm 83, what do you see the enemies say about the nation of Israel? What do you see them say? Anybody that may be familiar with Psalm 83? Come, let us cut them off, that the name, come on, y'all. That's right, Brother Chris. So you see how that's connected? And do you see how Psalm 83 says that these are the enemies of God that are doing this? So then, if you are God's people, then you are the people that are called after his name. Is this correct according to scripture? So, in order for them to cut his name off, they had to cut the people of God off as well and cut their name off. So, when we read Psalm 83, what do we see? That the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. That was their whole plan. So then Brother Cut here is saying that when you grow up in the synagogue of SOS over there, they teach you that that's how you say the Savior's name, the Son of God's name. They teach you that that's how you say it. Ain't that interesting? Ain't that interesting? Of course, that proves who the synagogue of Satan is. But the point of me telling you this is that so it is with you every single day. I told you, in order to cut God off, you have to cut his people off because him and his people are one. They're married. So you have to cut his people off. Do you see what I'm saying? And that happened. Let us cut them off. See, Psalm 83. Let us cut them off, that they don't be a nation no more. That's what it says, that they don't be a people. So out of all the nations you see on the earth, there's one nation of people that are cut off. Who you think that is? That don't have a flag, that don't have a nation, that don't have a land, that don't have a language, that woke up in a house that was redecorated and had a new name. Who you think that happened to? So then the point of what I'm saying is, this has happened to God's people on a daily basis. You are being deceived out of who you truly are every single day because of what has been painted up in front of you. Do you see what I'm connecting here? Your job, your acquaintances, even your family. This is why the dividing sword has to cut through even fathers and sons, because it's been a painted image up there. It's not real. You just were thinking that it was. Do you understand? This is why when you do the thing, this is why I asked you what singleness of heart was. This is why when you do something for anybody that's been placed over you, maybe your boss, maybe an acquaintance, maybe a friend, maybe a spouse, when you do something, you don't do it for them. That's where men have gotten screwed. They're thinking they're doing it for this person. They're not. He said, do it as unto Christ. So do it as though you're doing it for Christ. And then you'll be surprised at how you do a job. You'll be surprised at how you do anything that you do when you have the right mind about doing it. But when you have the wrong mind, thinking, I'm doing this for this person who doesn't appreciate what I'm doing, maybe they won't, and they probably won't. But does Yahushua appreciate your work? That's the only thing you need to be concerned with. Will he appreciate it if I half-ass do it? No. Will he appreciate it if I wholeheartedly do it with a singleness of heart? Yes, he will. So then let me do it like that despite who I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it for these people. Christ said, if you have done it for the least of these, you have done it for me. So then I'm proving my point once again, that when you do something, even for a bum on the street, you think you're doing it for him. And that's half the time why people don't do it, because they're looking at that man. But Christ says, if you do it for him, then you've done it for me. But everybody wants to say, I'll do it for you, Yahushua, but I will not do it for him. Well, then do you understand people can't judge right? Do you actually understand how peculiar you must be to make it into the end? Do you understand how peculiar you must be, my brothers? Do y'all know? Are you aware yet? Because I'm going to help it be very clear, crystal clearly, as I always say. I'm going to make that shit squeaky clean, so then nobody has any other scratching your head after the fact, wondering, murmuring, and all of this. Because see, when we get to feeling bad, we get to murmuring, you see? And we don't want to murmur. We don't want to gangustace, for all those who know that word. Okay? So then, if you're under attack, listen at what I'm saying, good little flock. If you are being under attack every day, it's to get you to be no more in remembrance, isn't it? Because the enemies of God, that was what their plan was, right? So then the enemy every day is trying to get you to not remember who you are. Isn't that right? Now, who does the grandson say you are? Watch how this shit's about to go here. And then you tell me if I am who I am. What does the grandson say you are? Now, the world is trying to tell you that you're what? Before we even get into anything else, this enemy I'm telling you about that's trying to deceive you every day is trying to deceive you that you're what? That's simple. That's simple, Brother Cut. Okay? So then if he succeeded, then you're going to bear his image. Now, watch this. We were talking earlier in the chat, right? I mean, in the Discord group, right, brothers? Brother Carlton had explained some things that he was dealing with. Brother Chris had chimed in on some things that he was dealing with. Now, Brother Chris, specifically, we're going to talk about what you were facing real quick, if you don't mind. Do you mind? Do you mind? Okay. You were talking about putting having some clothes in a dryer in the apartment complex where you live, and somebody took them out, and I guess they put their clothes in there to dry. Just left your clothes over there hanging on the side. Is that what happened, brother? I hear you, Brother Chris. So is that what happened? Somebody took your clothes out of the dryer and put their clothes in there. Is that what happened? Now watch how simple this is, little flock. This is why we're having this message today, for this very thing. Okay, that's what happened. Now, when you went to get your clothes, I assume you thought they were dry when you went. Or maybe you would have to restart it again, or whatever the case may be if they weren't all the way dry. But either way, you thought they'd be in that dryer when you went. but you didn't find them in the dryer, did you, when you went? And how did that make you feel? Watch this, little flock. Watch it nice and good. Watch it nice and good. All right. So how did you feel when you realized your clothes weren't in that dryer? Bro said he even put the timer on. I was pissed off, man. I know. I've been in that situation myself. You go get your clothes. Somebody then took your shit out. Wait a minute. Your shit's sitting all on top the dryer. You're like, really, dude? There's shit in there. You're like, ain't this a bitch? That nigga probably even used my damn dryer sheets. What the hell? But you was pissed off. Now, when you got pissed off, how did you feel? What was coming up in you, in your thoughts and in your feelings? What kind of thoughts were you having? Watch it, little flock. And whatever nasty ass thoughts Brother Chris is about to mention, don't nobody in here better act funny about it. Because your ass done had them same nasty ass thoughts when somebody crossed your ass. So let's just keep it real, sit back and relax and listen. Okay, he said it wasn't even completely dry, so whoever took it out knew. See that? You see how the mind got to thinking? So he was upset when he saw the clothes wasn't there. And then when he realized his clothes weren't even dry yet, then another thought came. Look at that shit, Chris. Look at the thought. Look at that shit, Chris. Don't you see what that fucker did? That selfish motherfucker took your clothes out. They weren't even fucking dry. He took your shit out, put his probably stinking ass shit in there to get dry, left your shit out here going to get soggy and stinking in every fucking thing. What an asshole. That's the kinds of thoughts. It may have sounded different in his head, but you guys know what I'm saying. You guys know. So now, when you start to having, that's exactly how it went. Exactly. See? Now, when that started to happen and everything, you had to do something, didn't you? You had to intervene. Right? And how did you intervene? He said it was exactly the same. All right. So when you had to intervene, what did you have to do, Brother Chris? All right. So at the end of all of this welling up of this feeling, Brother Chris had to say, and it's not important. In the end, it's just clothes. So he had to bring himself back to a state of calm. Now, do you guys see that? Because that carnal guy that was saying, look at this shit, this selfish motherfucker, that guy wanted you to confront this person, wanted you to gain respect, wanted you to stick up for yourself, wanted you to cause a confrontation. Do you guys hear that? That's what it wanted you to do. It was provoking you to do those things. Because he would think it would be weak for you to say, okay, I'll take my clothes and just put them in another dryer and I'll dry them over here and I won't even mention it. I'll just take the smack on the cheek and then I'll just turn the other cheek and everything. No! He doesn't want you to do that. But in other words, that's what you did. You took it. Right, Brother Chris? You just took it. You accepted it and moved on with life. Correct? Okay. Okay. Now, why am I mentioning all of that? Why am I asking Brother Chris to talk about that and to bring that forward to the flock? It's because this is what we're about to discuss about the war. The real war. Damn all of that shit out in the world, because it's not, everything under the sun is vanity. So if somebody's pointing you to something out there, watch what I'm about to explain to you. If somebody is pointing you to something out there under the sun, then they're pointing you to vanity. Aren't they? Yes. So then Watch what the grandson is pointing you to. I'm pointing you to that guy that was going, hey, this fucking asshole took my fucking clothes. God damn. And put them over here while he put his shit in the dryer. What the fuck? How disrespectful. Right? Now, that guy that's saying all that, is he under the sun? Watch how this shit clickety clicks. Is he under the sun? Watch how the shit about to clickety click. Watch how this shit is about to clickety click. Is that dude under the sun? That's all we need to answer. That's right, Brother Cut. Got Jerusalem surrounded, man. We taking it back. So you might hear a whole bunch more sirens. And a whole bunch more people saying, no, no, don't let it be. Yes, 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 it is. Get out of my house. Because I want it back. Thank you. Get out. But, grandson, didn't we redecorate it so much that you couldn't tell it wasn't yours? No, I still know it's mine. And I'm going to redecorate it back the way I like it, by the way. So you might be hearing some more sirens going on over there. You see? Talking about building the third temple without the branch. Can't do it. You better come get y'all branch. That's what you better do. All right? Okay. So now I asked you guys the question. That guy that's saying the guy took my clothes, or the person took my clothes, put them all in the dryer and everything, didn't give a fuck about me, disrespected me, is that guy under the sun? That's my question. I told you, if somebody's telling you about something under the sun, then they're telling you about vanity, right? Or am I wrong? Brother Carlton, I don't know if you're still in the building, but if you in here, let us know. If you're still in here in the chat, let us know, Brother Carlton. All right. Brother Chuck says, I make it my duty to overcome my carnal mind daily. I love the feeling of having peace within, despite what's going on outside of me. I thank Abba in all aspects of my life and surrender daily. That's the whole goal, brothers. That's the whole goal. So, this carnal mind, your mind, is it in you or is it outside of you under the sun? I'm going to keep asking that question till we all arrive at a plane with one another, because I can't move forward until I know that we all understand that. That enemy, is he outside of you or is he inside of you, the carnal mind? That's going, this motherfucker took my clothes out the dryer. Was that some man standing outside of you, Chris, tapping you on the shoulder, telling you that? Or was it inside of you that this was going on? That's right, Brother Chuck. We all must understand that, because when a preacher is speaking to you, if he's speaking to you about an enemy outside of you or events outside of you, then he's not speaking to you about the truth. He's not speaking to you about the true enemy. He's not even speaking to you about the kingdom. All of these things are inside of you. I asked you guys, do you want to go home? You're like, yeah. So then if you want to, then I'm telling you how to. You see what I'm saying? And that requires you to come into a whole new state of being, outside of that carnal mind. Well, that takes place within you, not outside of you. In other words, Chris didn't go, hey man, get the fuck out of here, dude, outside of himself to some man and go, get out of here. Stop trying to provoke me. I'm going to stay cool. All right. So get out of here. No. The work he did took place inside. Or am I wrong, Chris? It took place inside of you. So then it didn't take place under the sun. You hear what I'm trying to say to you, little flock? In other words, it did not take place outside of you. So then why would I focus any of your minds, my brothers, to what's going on outside of you on a daily basis? It means I don't love you. It means I'm blind. And it means I'm leading the blind. You see what I'm trying to say? Falling into a damn ditch. We ain't trying to do that. We ain't trying to do that. You hear what I'm saying? So that's why I'm making this point that it's inside, brothers, because watch what we're going to read. Okay? Because watch what I'm about to say. Before I continue, we read about fathers, we read about servants, and we read about children. Let's just check these three groups of people and let's just see. When he says children obey your parents, does a child always want to obey his parents? That's right, Brother Chris. The debate was going on in your mind. It was going on in the battlefield. Okay? That's right, Brother Chuck. Hardly ever. Do you guys hear that, little flock? So do you guys understand what I'm saying? I'm slowing down on these few verses and just keep hitting them, saying that it requires a humble person to even accept this. Children don't want to obey their parents half the time. So then when they're told to, they have to war at times in order to obey what their parent has said. In other words, a child may hear, don't go to that party. You're not allowed to go. The child really wants to go. So now the child can either listen to the dark side and start to formulate a plan to sneak and make something happen and make it happen, or they can accept what they're submit, get choked out and tap out to what their parent has told them. They had to war then within themselves, not outside. They had to war within their own will and their own desire. They had to submit their own will and own desire to what their parent had told them. So there was a war that had to take place in order to fulfill it. So for children to obey their parents, they have to fight. Do you understand that? For a father not to provoke his children to wrath, he has to fight to be tender. There's times when his natural response is to lash out. You guys ever heard of shaken baby syndrome? Have you ever heard of it? How do you think that happens? How do you guys think that could possibly ever have happened? Somebody lost a war in their mind. You don't think their mind was saying, don't snatch that baby and shake that baby until he's dead or hurt or harmed? Don't do that. Of course their mind said that, but there was another side that said, but this, and you turn into a beast. That shook the baby. A man doesn't do that. A beast shakes a baby. Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you? You're going to display his image when you're submitted to his mind. But men have been displaying his image without admitting that they've submitted to his mind. The beast, Red, Esau, the wicked grandson, Cain, a murderer from the beginning. Do y'all hear what I'm saying to you? That's how come a baby got shook. A murderer did that shit. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It ain't hard. It ain't hard. Okay? Servants, be obedient to your masters. So if you got a wicked ass master that's evil as hell and works iniquity, then are you going to want to serve him as if he's Christ? Hell to the no, you won't. So you have to war with those thoughts that are saying, fuck this guy. This guy ain't shit. He's fucking unfair. He's unequal. He's not even a righteous man. Why the fuck should I serve him? Because you're talking about Christ. Why do I have to yell and say it like that? Because people don't hear it. They don't know they're talking about Christ. You don't know that? Well, I'm here to make it clear. Watch what he's about to say. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart as unto Christ, not with eye service as men pleasers, not with eye service, so make it look good to the eye, but half-ass do it. That's what this world does. The food they serve to you, it looks very good, but it's depleted. GMO. It's fucked with. It's changed. It's no good, but it looked good. You go get an apple off the rack. This shit is GMO, but it looks perfect. That's eye service to please a man, because he only judges by his damn eyes. You understand? But as the servants of Christ, doing the will of power from the heart. See what I'm trying to explain to you? You won't be offended if you know what you're doing it for Christ. You won't be offended if you accept that in every avenue of your life, that everything that you're doing for Christ. You're doing it as if Christ's looking at you. Not this person, this master, not this mother or this father, but Christ. And if you're doing it as if you're doing it for him, then can you do it wrong? Will you do it wrong? No, you won't. If you love him, you won't. But as the servants of Christ, doing the will of power from the heart. Now, the heart is the inner place, which is what I was describing to you, from the heart. So when you looked at the clothes being taken out of the dryer, I'm just using it as an example again for everybody. Somebody took your clothes out. Oh, shit. Somebody just disrespected me. Somebody was just so fucking rude that they this, blah, 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 blah. And you guys know how the carnal mind is going to get to talking, right? You guys know that, right? That's going on in your heart. Now, remember, the heart is desperately wicked. Can you see how wicked it is? It just automatically just assumes all kinds of wicked things that it doesn't even know that are true. It just starts to assume it. This person is a fucking jerk. Look what they did. They may not be a jerk. They may not be. It may be your future wife that did it. You never know. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there's many times we've done it. We've thought something was happening. We're in a traffic jam. Fuck! Now I'm gonna fucking be late. God damn it! Get all fucking mad and shit. Golly, man, relax. Hell no. I'm in the fucking traffic jam. Damn, man. Then you fucking get a phone call. Yeah, this is the job. Hey, yeah, motherfuckers just had a gun and just killed 6 people up here. Well, maybe Abba was saving my ass by putting me in this traffic jam. Yeah, maybe he was, dumbass nigga, while you were telling God what the traffic jam was. Do you see what I'm trying to say? This is why it's not good to lean to your own understanding of why something happened. Your carnal mind can't tell you the truth. So when it tells you, it sounds like it's true. This motherfucker disrespected me. Nigga cut you off in traffic. Hey, motherfucker, you didn't see me or something? God damn, you don't know how to fucking drive. But you don't know. The nigga might be having a stroke. He might be dying up there. Did you ever think that could be the case? No, I thought he just swerved over in my lane. Fuck, I didn't know he was dying. Yeah, see? So maybe you shouldn't have judged a thing before you know what the fuck it is. Oh, well, yeah, Neanderthal, calm your ass down. Neanderthal shook the baby. Neanderthal punched a hole in the wall. Neanderthal slammed the shit down because it didn't go his way. Neanderthal got mad and slammed the door because the person didn't want to talk to him. See, it's all of this shit is Neanderthal behavior that come from the carnal mind. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? And I'm telling you where it goes down at, in your heart, because your heart is desperately wicked and your heart is where we're at now. So I was dealing with this particular thing that causes us to feel this kind of way. He don't want us feeling that way no more. Does he? God damn it! Fucking people pissing me the fuck off! Is that how you want you feeling? All right. With goodwill, doing service as to I am and not to men. How much clearly could he have made that? My device just died, y'all. But it's okay, because we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it rolling. If somebody don't mind, if you could put the scripture up in the chat, that sure would help too. I think we're at verse 9 or something. Ephesians 6, verse 9. Something like that. So he says, not as unto men. So when you do something, do you do it as if you're doing it for a man? Let's just make that clear right now. Do you do it as if you're doing it for a man? when you do anything that you do. Brother Chuck says, we have to change our mindset from seeing things happening to us into seeing it happening for us out of I am loved. Ain't that the truth, y'all? Ain't it the truth? It's all about coming into right thought. That's the redemption of God. Once you think right, then you're saved. It's not about anything else that you do. I'm going to keep telling the world that because they don't know that. Do you guys really think the world believes that's that simple and easy and light? That if I change the way I think, then I'm going to be saved? Simply by changing the way I think? And then yet I can quote a scripture like I do all the time that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, the same place that I'm telling you about right now. That motherfucker put my clothes in the fucking on the side and put his shit in there. You're thinking in your heart. So as you thinking that, that's what you are. That's why we change and we repent from that, like Brother Chris said he had to do. Okay, wait a minute. This ain't that deep. Let's just calm down. This ain't that serious. It's just some clothes. But did it seem right to feel disrespected by that? Of course. We all would feel that way. If we put our clothes in the dryer and somebody else took them out before they were dry, pulled them out knowing they were wet, we would be like, what the fuck? That was rude as hell to do that. See, that's our initial thought. It was rude as fuck. That's the carnal thought. That's the carnal thought. The righteous thought is all things work together for my good. So this worked together for something good for me. Maybe I just needed to see that Neanderthal. Maybe that's why God made that happen, so that I could see the Neanderthal was still there. Do you follow what I'm saying? To point out this point that the grandson is saying today, that's who I should be fighting on a daily, not my brother. Because he disrespected me. So I should fight him? Yahushua didn't teach us that. It's not hard. He didn't teach us that. He taught us how to fight the true fight, the fight of faith, little flock. The fight of faith requires you to do something that men cannot see you do. I'll give you an example. I'll give you guys an example that's so crystal clear to see that nobody should be able to fucking deny this. During my travels from place to place, not knowing where I was going, walking on faith, I ended up at a woman's house, a single mother who had some children. She had 3 children. She also had a roommate who was a single mother who had 1 child. Her roommate who had the 1 child had a daughter. She wasn't the nicest person to this little daughter of hers, who had to be about 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old, the daughter. The mother's in her 20s. But she wasn't kind to the child, from what I could see when I first got over there. The way she was talking to her, the way she treated her, the way she seemed pretty neglectful of her. Wasn't much love. And she was kind of harsh to her. Now, guys, I told you, chaos is a woman's domain. Didn't I tell you guys that in this message? Chaos is a woman's domain. So I know not to go into chaos. You enter into chaos when you start asking a woman things like, why? Why? Why you? Why you? In other words, in this case, I could have said, why you talk to your daughter like that? That's chaos. I opened the door to chaos. Now she's about to tear my ass up. But I'm not about to ask her why a damn thing, because I'm about to fight a fight for her. She doesn't know I'm fighting. I'm about to fight the good fight of faith. Now, let me tell you guys what I did. I waited to confirm that this was just a normal behavior of hers, the way she treated her daughter. So days would go by and I would just listen. When she would wake her up for school in the morning, she'd wake her up harshly. When she would go to bed at night, it would be harsh. When she would be supposedly doing her homework, her mother would be harsh toward her. Just harsh, yelling, mean, cutting and quick and cussing and cutting and cutting and kicking and cucking. Damn! Just mean. So I didn't say anything to the mother. Watch, flock! I didn't say nothing to that mother. I went to the park. I took a walk. And I walked up to the local park around the corner, found it, and said, hey, there's a park up here. Let me go sit over here and chill. I went in that park and sat in the field and just chilled. And I calmed. And what in the midst of this calm, I saw that mother with my mind's eye. I saw that mother and I saw that daughter in a loving embrace. I saw them being tender. I saw that daughter basking in the love of her mother. I saw the mother showering her daughter with love. That's what I decided. That was the substance of my hope. I didn't tell the daughter or the mother I had done it at all, because Father sees in secret, and he will definitely reward you openly as he rewarded me. I'm going to tell you how he did. So I just see this in my mind, and I cry and I rejoice over how beautiful it is. How wonderful, Father, that this is the truth of that relationship. No one knows I'm doing it. And I leave that park and I go back to the house. And the next day, it's like Saturday, so it's no school or anything. Everybody just kind of wakes up. The kids go outside to go play, and I'm sitting on the porch. I'm sitting on the porch with the mother and the single mother that I'm describing, the mother of this child, and as well as the other mother. We're sitting on the porch talking. The kids are out front playing, and there's a little puddle of mud at the end of the driveway because it had rained a couple of days and it accumulated a puddle there. The little girl has on a pretty dress and some pretty little socks and shoes and everything. It's all brand new and everything. She was so excited to wear it, show it off and everything. She's running around showing everybody how pretty she is and everything. She's riding on her little bike. She gets down to the end of the driveway, and her mother says, "Stay away from that puddle." She says, "Okay." She turns around, comes back up. She goes back down, comes back up. Well, she went down one time. Sure enough, she hit the little dip in the puddle and fell off the bike and fell right into the puddle, guy. Now, remember how her mother is. I'll give you guys an example just so you can understand the extent of how her mother is. Read this right here. She got the book. Read this. The cat. Cat. The word is fucking cat. God damn. The word is cat. Say it. Cat. No, look. Read the whole fucking sentence. Don't just say cat. Read the whole goddamn sentence. The cat. Why the fuck you crying? Why the fuck are you acting like this? Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you? So now the girl falls. So I just look. The mother goes, she starts to laugh. Not laugh at her daughter. A tender laugh. Oh, baby. Oh, my, because of course the daughter's, oh, I'm dirty. I messed my dress. Oh. And the mother goes, oh, it's okay. We'll wash it and clean it. She goes, she gives her a hug. She says, go change your clothes. Come on. And she kissed her and everything. She said, it's okay. It's no problem. That was the first sign of tenderness I've seen that mother show since I had been there. And you guys don't think that it's connected to what I did at that park? So then I implore you all to fight the good fight of faith. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you today? If you fight that fight, if you pray for your enemies, they don't know you are. They don't need to know. Why they need to know? Huh? Abba's the one that need to know. So go into the secret place and see it as you would like to see it in its truth. I hate you. I hate you. Pray for your enemies. That's what the master taught us to do. As hard as it is for men to hear it, because men are rebellious as shit. I told you, they don't want to hear that. That's a stumbling stone of a rock of offense that offends men. Isn't that what he said? Where did he put the stone at? He laid it in Zion. If you knew where Zion was, then you'd understand why that stone was laid there. Men want to climb the mountain of consciousness and rise up in intelligence, but yet the ultimate intelligence is self-sacrifice, and he doesn't understand that. He stumbles at that. He thinks that's foolishness to give himself up and to pray that prayer of faith in the secret place on the behalf of another, so that child can be liberated from that harshness she was experiencing. Oh, I'm going to act like I'm a tough guy and walk up. Hey, lady, that's not how you raise a child. That's going into her world. I don't do that. I go into my world where I'm powerful and I make it what I want it to be in that place, because that's what he told us to do. Did he not? Ask believing and you shall have it. So then what in the hell is wrong with people today? They don't want to ask believing because they don't fucking believe. They can't ask for nothing because they don't believe. They ask amiss. You see what I'm saying to you? Thank you, Brother Christopher, for this, for putting those verses there so we can continue with this. It's not much more I want. It's just a little bit more, little fly. Okay. Okay, verse 8. Knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of I am. Do you hear that, little flock? Whatever thing you do, you will receive of I am. Didn't that make life easy? For us, it do. For rebellious babies kids, it's showing the hell don't. They just keep doing evil shit, not realizing that that's what they're going to get from the Father. So then, all you ever have to think about is, what would I want from the Father? Is this what I want? For him to be beating my ass? For him to be spitting on me? For him to be cussing me out and calling me all kind of crazy ass names? Is that what I want from the Father? Men do not think that way, though. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whether he be bond or free. And you masters, look at how this goes, little flock. You don't just talk to the servant. You masters, do the same things unto them. Forbearing, threatening. Forbearing means abstaining from, withholding from. So you don't have to threaten a nigga just because he's under you. Do you understand? Not lording power over somebody just because you're in a higher elevated place. No, treat him the way you want to be treated by God. It doesn't matter who you are, bond or free. There is no bond or free in the kingdom. I mean, there is no Jew or Greek or bond or free or slave or female or male. There isn't any of that in the kingdom. All are one. So if all are one, then why do you think you have to rebel or kick against what some man has orchestrated? This nigga trying to tell me to do this. Hell no. This nigga want me to do this. You hear people say it all the time. You hear people say it all the time, especially in the workforce. That nigga asking too much of me, man. I ain't about to be putting up with this shit. You see what I'm trying to say? And I understand. I understand. All right. Forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven. See that, little flock? Neither is there respect of persons with him. Finally, my brethren, be strong in I am and in the power of his might. Stop. See? It's not about outward brawn or outward show or standing up for yourself outwardly. It's about standing up in his name, in the power of his name, because that's where power is found, is in his name. If I'm panicked, or upset, it's because this woman is treating her daughter bad. That makes me upset. But if I'm calm because she's treating her daughter well. So then let me be calm. But look how men think it's got to do with something with her and talking to her about her relation with her daughter. It ain't got nothing to do with it. I told y'all, you can deliver a drug addict off of a drug without ever mentioning the drug. You can do it. I've done it. But men don't think you can because they don't go to the secret place and see it as though it is. That means you don't give a fuck about nobody. That's what it means. You don't give a fuck. You don't care. That's actually what it means. And men just don't understand that. They don't understand they murder their brothers every day. God damn it. That's murdering your brother, man. As soon as you looked at him and thought of evil in your heart, you murdered him. That's what the Bible says. But yet men act like they don't hear the shit. They still think evil in their heart. I didn't do anything, so I'm good. No, nigga, you're not. You don't understand. That's the fight we're fighting. For our hearts to remain pure. And we're about to get into that here real soon. Okay? Be strong in I am in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of power, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Thank you, Brother Chris. That'll be quite enough. Did y'all hear that, little flock? Real nice and good. You're putting on armor so that you can defend yourself from a deceiver, specifically a deceiver, because you do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Do you hear what the grandson's saying to you? How many men, I've asked this question earlier in the community post, how many men are actually fighting against their flesh and blood? So when people hear that verse, they think it means, okay, that means your enemy is not some other man. That's what it means. Okay. Is that all it means? When it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, it means other people. It also means your own flesh and blood. You don't wrestle against it either. That's not who you're fighting against. When you're craving something, when you're desiring something that you shouldn't desire, that doesn't come from your flesh and blood. It comes from your heart. Skeet and deedly, they can't understand me. Except the little flop. Hope they can. Thank you, my brother Chris. But nope, that's good. Because I want to focus on that real quick before we get on out of here. How many men are fighting against their flesh and their blood? Now, I'll give you guys an example of fighting flesh and the blood so you guys can answer that question more accurately. Fighting against your own flesh and your blood is what you eat, what you wear, what you put on, what kind of words you use when you talk, how you sound when you talk, the places you physically go to, the things you physically do. You spend your whole life trying to fight to bring that under your subjection. And you leave your mind unattended to. You leave the garden overrun with weeds. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? That's how subtle the deceiver is, because that's who you're fighting against. That's who you're fighting against. A deceiver, like I've told you, someone who tricks you, someone who tries to convince you of a lie. So every time you see yourself manifesting his traits, that means you're being convinced of a lie. You can resist him and he'll flee from you, or you can allow him and become one with him and become that beast and pay the price, which is death, and be a murderer and be a thief. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you today? That's right, Brother Chuck. The whole world is deceived. Okay, if I get my diet right, if I keep the commandments, okay. Didn't you hear the man say, I kept all the commandments? Yeah, I did. Did Yahushua say, no, you're not? No, he didn't say that. See? But was that man, did he go into the kingdom? No. Do you hear it then? I still don't hear it, grandson. Okay, I'm going to say it again one last little time. There was a man who said he kept all the commandments as well. He said he did it from his youth up, but yet he wasn't perfect. So then my question would have to be, yours should be too. What makes a man perfect then? Hmm. Hmm. So if the whole world is deceived, then they're not fighting the battle that Abba just told us in Ephesians there that we are fighting. Now, what did he say we're actually fighting? Let's read it. Against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness. Darkness is chaos of this world. The chaos of this world. That's a chaotic feeling when you get all pissed off and mad and rageful and want to hurt people. You understand what I'm saying? That's called wickedness in high places or darkness of this world. Do you understand what I'm saying? High places mean elevated thoughts. They seem right when you hear them. This person disrespected you. That sounds right. That seems as though that's what they did. But Yahushua said, forgive them for they know not what they do. So if they didn't know what they were doing, then they didn't know they were disrespecting me. They didn't know. Now, who is the me they're disrespecting? Christ. Can you accept that? That Christ live in you? Hope you can. I hope you can. And so once you understand that every circumstance you face is Christ facing it, then when you don't act like Christ, then you've gone with your own will. Now, how do you think that's going to turn out for you if you do that? If you go with your own will, how do you think it'll turn out? That's right, Brother Chuck. You won't get what you seek for. The Bible makes this very clear. You won't get what you seek for. You see that? You need to ignore the wind and the waves in order to get your bread back upon the water. So then, in order to get our bread, we must be calm. We must ignore the wind and the waves because that's nothing but a deceiver trying to deceive us out of the state that is true. Because I told you, you must match, guys. What do you think bride mean? Shit. You got to match your husband. You see? It always ends in pain. That's right, Brother Chris. So if we realize that, then let's use our wisdom today, understanding that it always ends in pain. So there's no need in ever allowing ourselves to become double-minded again. It's about being single-minded. And like I said, I understand how things get. I understand how things wear upon you. I totally understand it. How things can get so irritating that you just say, fuck it sometimes. Oh, fuck. God damn. I know. I know. That's the way it feels at times. That's how thick the deception can become at times. And there's nothing wrong with letting it vent out at times. Righteously, though. Like I said, you don't want to go ape shit and go crazy and doing something you're going to regret. You see? You may have to go to one of those places where you go, those buildings where they have a bunch of like old TVs and glass mirrors and a bunch of shit set up in a room, and you go in there with a sledgehammer and some safety glasses and gloves and shit, and they give you like a half an hour to just smash the shit up. Go do some shit like that. Do something to resist the devil, to resist that deception. You understand? Avoid getting offended. Sister Adele in the building. Peace to you. Avoid getting offended. That's right. That's right. Because, like I said, it's not you that's being offended, it's Christ. You see that? It's Him. So then you can die to your personal feelings, considering what the circumstances are. And that's what this message ultimately is about. In order to overcome the heart, because the heart is desperately wicked, you must die to it and accept the new heart that He has for you. And by accept, it means become one with it. Not hearing it and then still going back to the old way of dealing with things the old way. You'll see the new way. The new way is peace. It's quiet. It's calm. The work is done secretly. And you can do this, and it doesn't matter who the person is. Who are they to reply against God? God is in the secret place. So then you just simply go in the secret place and you pray for your enemy. What examples can we use before I end this message about that warfare that God is talking about in high places that I'm trying to get your minds to? Don't focus on any other war. There isn't any other war. The war is not on your plate. The war is not in your closet. It's not. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The war is not on the scale. The war is not in your pocket. The war is not there. That's all vanity. The war is in here and in here. Those are the two cities Abba is concerned with, Zion and Jerusalem. The most highest elevated mount, which is Zion, which is where Abba loved to reside. That's an elevated state of consciousness, which is right thought, little flock. You see? It's not a mountain outside of yourself, because God is a spirit. And as long as you stay in the spirit, then you will mind spiritual things. But if you remain in the flesh and walk after the flesh, then you will only mind fleshly things. And the carnal mind is death. So you will only think about death. This motherfucker did that. And so then fuck. Yeah, that's death. You only mind that kind of shit when you're in the carnal mind. Oh, wait a minute. Carnally minded. What does the spirit say about this? The spirit says you need to increase in patience. So is it this person disrespected me, or is it I need to increase my patience? See what I mean, little flock? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's always about you. When you're getting angry, you're angry because of you. If we could just all understand that, then we would deal with it. How could you be angry at somebody else if you knew the truth? And if you had self-control, which is the fruit of the spirit, then how could you become unrighteously angry? You can't. See what I'm trying to say to you? So then, little flock, like I said, this message ain't like all the other ones, because it's about the heart. It's about our hearts and what we're doing right now in that heart of ours. Because as I told you, that's what I was looking at. That's what He's judging a man based upon. And in order for you to go back into your land and go back into the what we call Eden, that perfect state of harmony with the Father is what it means. then you must die to that old mind. Laugh at it, knowing it's a deceiver, knowing it. Abba has given us so much grace, in so much to the point where we now know narcissistic traits that we see outwardly in other people. He's showing us that so that we can understand the enemy within. Because he loves us so much, he wants us to know. People didn't understand NPD and narcissism and all that before, but there was just an influx of information about it recently in the last few years, last decades. Why? Because Abba wants it to be known now, what's been going on in the hearts of men. You understand? And what you'll understand about it is that you just can't take it seriously. The carnal mind. Don't take it seriously. Laugh. He laughs. You hear what I'm saying, little flock? You hear what I'm saying? That's right, Brother Chuck. It's actually fun once you start seeing the salvation of staying still. It aggravates the enemy. See, there you have it. There you have it. Like I said, once you understand about how narcissism works, do you understand that little enemy within you? Oh, wait a minute. No contact and silence is how I defeat you. Now, that's pretty ironic that I'm finding out that no contact and silence is how I defeat you. And that's what I see Yahusha do. He literally goes no contact and goes silent. As a sheep before the shearers, he opened not his mouth. Is that what's written? So when the shearers come for you, what do? Open not your mouth. And I don't mean your physical mouth. Don't open your mental mouth. That motherfucker, god damn, he took my clothes out the dryer and then put his clothes in there. This shit is all downy, fresh, and fluffy and shit. My shit's all soggy over here on the side. What the fuck? See, that mouth. You understand what I'm saying to you, little flock? That mouth. I be just telling that nigga the truth. Shut your ass up. Shut up. Tired of your ass, man. That's who you tired of. Hear me good, little flock. That's who you're tired of. You're not tired of people outside of yourself. You're tired of the carnal mind. You're tired of death. You're tired of hearing that nigga trying to whisper to you. You're tired of him trying to make himself manifest. You see what I'm trying to explain to you? You're tired of him trying to make himself manifest. In other words, trying to make himself real. He's not. And you're tired of him trying to make himself real. So am I. So are all of us. And that's why we must pace. Because this is a race of endurance. And in a race of endurance, you must pace. You try to run too fast, you'll burn yourself out. You run too slow, you'll get left out. You got to pace yourself. You see that? And by pace yourself, I mean have grace with yourself through this journey you're going through. This fighting this enemy within yourself. Men are not going to tell you these things. They want your attention outside of you. And if it's outside of you, hopefully it'll be on them. That's what they hope. That's what they're hoping. But see, the grandson about to shine the light on the real truth here, which is that's your enemy in high places. High places are elevated thoughts. The only reason you believe a thought, my brother, because men don't want to be stupid. Men pride themselves on being intelligent. Well, if you pride yourself on being intelligent, then that means you always seek to make right decisions or decisions that seem right. Unfortunately, in the world, they do what seems right to the world or what looks right. But men will always seek for that, what they think the right thought is, to make themselves look intelligent. You see that? And unfortunately, they hear a thought that's evil, and because it sounds intelligent or it sounds justified, that's what they roll with. Do you hear it? Do you believe that you should seek to justify yourself before men? Just asking. Do any of you believe that? That you should seek to justify yourself before any man? I'll give you guys some examples before I get out of here about justifying yourself before men. If you didn't do anything wrong, and then somebody steps forward in front of people, accuses you of doing something wrong, then you just be quiet. But if you don't be quiet, now you're justifying yourself before men. No, I didn't do that. You're fucking lying on me. You're not telling the truth. What the fuck? You just made that shit up. That's justifying yourself. Do you believe that's necessary? Because the carnal mind will convince you that it is, and he's just deceiving you. Justifying yourself. You did something good for somebody or something kind for another person. So you did it. And then after you did it, you waited to see if they were going to acknowledge it and say something about it. Now, come on. Give me the accolade. I did something good. Tell me I did something good. Act like you appreciate what I did. The Bible says, do good, hoping for nothing in return. Are you listening to the word, or are you going with your own understanding? See how subtle it is? Because doesn't it seem right to do something good and then to expectantly wait for the response of what you've done? Yeah, it seems normal. It doesn't seem wrong for you to want that, but it is, because the Bible says don't do that. So then it ain't good to do it, even though it don't seem wrong to do it. Y'all understand how deep the deception goes? Like I said, the whole world is deceived. So you got to understand how deep it is. And I'm showing you how deep it is. When men seek to justify themselves, they've been deceived. And we have all sought to justify ourselves, to show people how smart we were, or how valuable to the group we were, how important to the team we were. We always tried to show men that kind of shit. And it was vain, wasn't it? It was vanity. That's right. That's right. Because it's not what you're supposed to do. But men have done it. That's right, Brother Chuck. Only look to be approved by I am. Before I end this message, what do you think men can do to be approved by I am? Now, Brother Chuck, after you answer this question, then there's no discrepancies for anybody listening to this message as to what a man must do. Because if his goal is to be approved by I am, which all of our goal here is, what must we do? You got that right, Sister Adele. Only look to the approved to be approved by I am. And how do we do that, Brother Chuck? That's right. That's right. So if a man know he's loved, will he justify himself? Of course not. You see that, brothers and sisters? You won't justify yourself if you already know. I know the truth. I can try to make you know the truth. That's what y'all think I'm supposed to be doing, trying to force people to know it? Nope. Nope. I am it, and if you can't see it, then that's your own issue to deal with, not mine. You don't want to see it. That's fine. You have to have that attitude now going forward. No longer being swayed to and fro about men's opinions of you, whether they're good or bad. Because men lie. Y'all see that? But that's right, brother. Once a man knows he's loved, then he's going to act totally different than a man who doesn't know that he's loved. Because men just don't seem to think that that's the actual issue in men's hearts. Yes, it is. It's either a man knows he's loved in his heart and he's going to act godly because of that, or he doesn't know he's loved and he will act wicked. It's that simple. He cannot act righteous if he doesn't believe he's loved. God is love. That means you don't believe God is with you. So then how the hell can you be righteous? It's not even hard. You see what I'm saying? And it's easy to recognize when you're not being loving. And when you're not being loving, you're being that beast. That's all there is to it. And that's the spiritual war that we fight. That's it. Thoughts that come against right thought. We bring all of those thoughts into subjection. We humble them. We submit them to the right thought. Everything is happening good for me today. So then why am I sitting here complaining about this? You see what kind of mind you have to be? Like I said, before I get out of here, I want y'all to understand you got to be a fool. Now I'm going to tell you when it's time to be a fool so that you know when it's time to turn the fool card on. I'll give you an example first before I give you the card. David was under attack, the beloved of God. He was under attack and being chased by some enemies. And in order to survive, David feigned as if he were mad. In other words, he acted like he was crazy. He acted so much so that he was crazy that he started to drool, and the drool came all down to his beard and everything. This is Bible. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining to you? He acted like he was crazy in order for the men that were chasing him to look and say, oh no, that ain't David. That's just some old crazy ass crackhead ass nigga. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They didn't even think it was David. They didn't know. Man, this nigga crazy. Shit. He just acted like he was. I'm letting it marinate real quick. Just letting that marinate in the pot real quick. David acted like he was a madman, y'all. His spittle came down into his beard, the Bible says. So he was out there like, he was acting nuts. You hear that? And he did that to preserve his life because his life was in danger. So in other words, David became a fool. The reason why I use that example is so that you don't feel any type of shame when you let your slob fall all into your beard, because you're going to have to in life. Now, what do I mean by let your slob fall into your beard? This means this. When somebody's cussing all at you and calling you all kind of names and treating you bad or treating you with disrespect, you go into the secret place within yourself, right in the face of this so-called disrespect, and you say to yourself, I am respected. So then I will completely ignore this lie. That's the drool in every damn thing. Can you guys understand spiritually what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that act is foolishness to this world. It makes you look mad to sit in front of somebody, spit in your face, and then you go, I'm respected. Not even say anything outside of yourself. Inside, you say, I'm respected. This guy can spit all he wants. And then somebody says, how the hell are you doing that? Yahusha did. Now, my question is, did he? Did people spit in his face? And did he not say anything? So then I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. He's saying I'm loved. You guys are kicking me. You guys are rejecting me. You guys are beating me. You guys are ripping my skin. You guys are crucifying me. And I am still loved. Isn't that the story of your life? Yes, it's the story of my life. People my whole life have been trying to strip things away from me, still kill and destroy my whole life for me to not feel like I'm loved, so that I'll never be who I am. Because the war is, as I said in the beginning of this live stream, the war is that you be cut off, that your name be no more in remembrance. They don't want you to know who you are. So then, of course, the attack is to try to make you into the image of a beast. The whole Bible is telling you that. All the way to Revelation, it's saying it. Put the mark of a beast on these niggas, since that's what they want to act like. Punching holes all in walls, screaming and hollering all at each other, jumping all up and down like orangutans, swinging out of a damn tree and all this shit on top of each other. What the fuck is wrong with human beings? Since they want to act like a beast, then give them on over to the beast side then. But we ain't got no mark of a beast. We have the seal of the living I am in our forehead. So then we're the ones that take it. We're the ones that bear it. We're the ones that endure, and we pacing ourselves. I mean, we're giving ourselves grace in those moments when we don't want to endure. We don't get mad at ourselves. Do not get mad at yourself. Do not get ashamed of yourself. Do not get down on yourself. Why? You're already home. So why get down? Because they're shooting at you? So it seems you're already home. You must have made it through them bullets. Why? They sending drones at you to drop grenades on you while you running from trench to trench? You must have made it from trench to trench all the way back home again because you at home. So then don't worry about what a nigga saying out here. Don't worry about what a nigga done said. Don't worry about what a nigga trying to do. Because my Abba good. And we going to sing that shit as we march across this battlefield. And there's nothing nobody can do to stop this power that we march in. I am safe. Now throw some shit. I am protected. I am beautiful. I am healthy. I am perfect in every way. I am made beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully, nigga. So what you say I am? I say you're mad, grandson. I'm happy. But I say you're pissed off, grandson. I'm pleased and I'm well rested and I'm calm. But I say you're ugly, grandson. I am beautiful. I am radiant. I am glowing. Shit, what this nigga talking about? He crazy as hell. He don't know what beauty is? Look how crazy you got to be in this world. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? We are fools for Christ's sakes, the Bible says, and I'm telling you the foolishness that you have to be in order to be for Christ's sake. You hear what I'm saying? You got to live by faith, not by sight. Nigga gonna try to tell you what sight is when he look at you. Look at you, man. You look like a bum. So I look like one, so that means I am one? You dumbass niggas. That's how y'all judge? Look how you got to be. That's how y'all judge? But grandson, I got a whole lot of money, so I'm safe, grandson. Did you get wisdom? Because wisdom is the principal thing. So with all you're getting, you probably should have got that. You probably should get some understanding too. So you can have some riches where moth won't eat it. But you can butt all damn day long. You can butt all damn day long. And it ain't going to change the truth. So do y'all hear me, little flockulators? Thank you, Brother Chris, for that. That's what I was quoting earlier. Thank you for that, brother. It says, and he changed his behavior. This is the beloved one. He changed his behavior before them and feigned himself. Feign means fake. He feigned himself mad in their hands and scrabbled on the doors of the gate and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. So was I lying? That nigga was like, Neanderthal time. I'm not David. I don't know who you guys looking for. I'm just some crazy ass nigga down here in the ghetto smoking some crack. That's all I am. Y'all hear me today, little flock? That's what he was doing. And that's how you look to the world. That's the point of why it's written there. The beloved one gotta look like a fool at times to show that he's still loved. The world doesn't love you. In the world, you have tribulation, but fear not. Isn't that what's written? In the world, you shall have tribulation. So then why is the world gonna love you? It ain't gonna love you. It don't know love. The world don't know God. So then the world don't know love. So then it can't love you. So then don't expect it to. Expect it to treat your ass bad. Expect to be disrespected. Expect to be murdered. Expect to be spat on. Expect to be kicked out. Expect to be the black sheep. Expect to be hated without a cause. Expect for your information that you share with people in secret for them to spread it openly and don't give a fuck about how you feel about it. Expect for you to say you have a friend, but that friend gonna backstab you. Expect for you to say you have a woman, but that woman gonna stab you in the back and cheat on you and do all kinds of wickedness and steal all your money. All this shit that I'm describing to you is the things of the world. Be not friends with the world, then, little flock. Cut their ass off. Be not friends with the world. Is that not what the Bible say? Love not the things of the world. Ain't that what the Bible say? Love not the world, neither the things in it. Ain't that what it say? So there ain't no strange thing what I'm saying to you today, little flock. There ain't no strange thing what I'm saying to you today. So I'll be blessed, little flock of lads. I'm going to go ahead and get on up out of here because I think we made our point clear today. That's the battlefield, and that's what we're fighting today because we want our heart back. We don't want our heart being led by no fucking beast. Ain't it terrible? When you see the fruits of that nigga, when he leads you astray, yeah, let's do this. And then you do it, and then you get caught. Or you do it, or you get some type of pain. Or you do it, and you suffer. And then you say, damn, man. Damn. It seemed so fun. It seemed like it was so good what I was doing. It's always about what it seemed like, y'all. This world only can sell you seem like. Every commercial you watch on TV, just say in your mind when you're watching it, seem like. Because the nigga's lying. Yes, I don't give a fuck if it's Tony the Tiger selling your ass some cereal. That nigga lying like a motherfucker. Yes, fortified with vitamin C. It has vitamin D in it as well. We have all kinds of nutrients and minerals that your kids need. Just buy Frosted Flakes because they're great. Seem like you great, but all that sugar your ass got in that shit making niggas go crazy. What about that part? They're let me see. He's telling me to tell the truth. Oh fuck, I can't say great. They're this nigga like liar. They're ass. No, nigga, they ass. We heard what you said. Shit, they ain't great. They ass. We heard you. Everything that niggas are selling, it just seemed like this is the best product you could ever buy. I guarantee you your money back. It seemed like, just say it. Seem like you go to the club, girl come walking up. Hey, how you doing today? You lonely? You looking for a friend? Seem like you seem like a friend, but you ain't. No, I'm good. I can only do good to you. Seem like. Damn. Why won't this guy ever believe us? You shouldn't believe them niggas neither, little flock. You hear what I'm saying? Seem like. So y'all be blessed tonight, little flockulators. And you tell these niggas seem like and keep moving. Brother Chris, next time somebody take your clothes and they take them out the dryer, you just say, it seemed like they disrespected me, but they didn't. They just helping me gain some more patience. You see what I'm saying? Because that's ultimately is the truth. It just taught you more about that war we were talking about and where it's actually going down at. Because people that deny this, they're just blind. I told you, they're looking at their plates, they're looking at their closets, they're looking at their bank accounts, they're looking at everything outside of them for the war. I'm prepared for the war. I've stacked this up. I got my food here. I got this. The war's in here, dude. So what you stack up in there? Because Yahusha said stack some stuff there. Didn't he? Well, grandson, yeah, I mean, he did say that. So then what do you think you should be doing? What he said? Yeah, I'll say so. So I'll be blessed, little flock. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. And like I say, Abba willing, we'll be back to do this again. But I just wanted to share that with y'all and let y'all know that y'all are not alone. The Bible talks about Christ and it says that he understands what you're going through. Every struggle, every strife, every disrespect, every offense, everything that we go through, he knows it because he had to endure it himself, as I was giving you examples earlier. So just keep that in the forefront of your mind when you're going through what you're going through. That is nothing compared to Christ's suffering. And you're a partner in his suffering, then you'll be a partner in his glorying. So keep your mind on that, little flock. You do and fight this fight of faith. Keep fighting, my brothers. And y'all be blessed. Salawam Israel.